everyone. I hope you are all well and having a great day. I just wanted to let you know that I'm starting a new series, and it is going to be called Story Time. I know a lot of YouTubers are doing story times, and I think that it's fascinating to listen to people's real, true story times. And every story time that I do is going to be honest, it's going to be real, and it's going to be true, I promise. So if you're interested in my story times, I will have a playlist, and it's going to be labeled appropriately as story times. I am going to do the story times once a week, so just keep an eye out for that. There will be a playlist. But I just wanted to talk today about my very first brain surgery. It was approximately 9 years ago. I had seen a neurosurgeon on Long Island. After many months of being afraid and not knowing what was going on with me, I found a doctor many miles away, about 300 miles away from me, that ordered a Fiesta MRI. I'm going to put a little bit of what a Fiesta MRI is right down here. Anyway, when I had the Fiesta MRI, I was finally diagnosed with glossopharyngeal neuralgia. I'm going to call it GPN for the rest of this video because my voice is quite weak today. So if I have problems speaking, it's because it's weak today. I'm sorry. So once I was diagnosed after the Fiesta MRI by the neurosurgeon, he examined me again, and he recommended that I have something called an MVD. I'm going to put information down here in regards to what an MVD is. It is microvascular decompression. What was happening with my GPN, and the reason I had it, was my main vertebral artery was literally compressing on my 9th and 10th cranial nerve. The 9th and 10th cranial nerve are the nerves that create the electrical shocking that starts in my throat and goes up to the top of my head. Left side only. And it causes intense ear pain. It causes the electrical zapping. It makes it so that I can't eat, I can't swallow, even my saliva. It makes my voice weak. It is dubbed the suicide disease, along with trigeminal neuralgia. And it is horrific. It is the worst known pain to mankind. And that has been actually said by top neurologists in this world. So I got diagnosed with the GPN through the Fiesta MRI. I went to see the neurosurgeon that diagnosed me, and he recommended that I have the microvascular decompression. I am going to call it an MVD for the sake of my voice being weak for the rest of this video. It all happened pretty quick. My insurance approved it. They got me a surgery date. They got me my pre-op testing that I was able to have done here in my area by my general physician. It was happening so fast, and I was scared. You know, I was right in the beginning of this GPN journey and learning what it was. There wasn't a lot on the internet. There still is not a lot, but there wasn't a lot on the internet, so I didn't know much about GPN or a microvascular decompression, MVD. So I spoke with my family members, most especially my mother, and she advised me, if you're in this much pain, what are your options? Are there any options? There were no options. The doctor had put me on anti-seizure medications, gabapentin and Trileptal, which I am still on to this day, 9 years later. That's a whole other story. But there was nothing. There was treating the symptoms. There was nothing but this surgical option. So I did choose to have the MVD. I had it in a hospital on Long Island. My mother traveled with me over 300 miles to this hospital so that I could have the MVD done. I had all the pre-op testing done here in my area by my primary physician. And when I was having the pre-op testing done, I actually had to have a type and screen, which means that they need to know your exact blood type right down to the T in case you need a blood transfusion. Well, I saw that on the order and I remember really getting upset. I was crying while they were drawing my blood. I told them it would be my first brain surgery. I was scared. They were wonderful as far as I remember in supporting me and, you know, getting me through the lab work. But it was scary when I saw type and screen and the girl drawing my blood said that's in case you need a blood transfusion. This sucks. So I was told by the neurosurgeon that I would be in the hospital for a couple of days. The first night I would be in the ICU on the neurological floor. And the second and possibly the third night I would be on the neurological floor, but I would just be observed in a private room. My mother and my father were there, and I remember being so frightened. I was just so scared. I was calling my sister. I was talking to my brother on the phone. You know, I was just like, what if this is it? What if I don't make it? I have these two boys, you know, and it was just, it was so scary. I remember being so frightened. When I got there, the neurosurgeon wanted to do another MRI, a much more detailed MRI, and I'm claustrophobic, so when I have an MRI, I have to take Valium. So they did go ahead and shoot my vein full of some kind of a sedative, and I remember that I basically dozed off and on during the MRI. But when you have a Fiesta MRI of your brain, that MRI is about an hour and a half to 2 hours. It's not 10 minutes, 15 or 30 minutes. It's about an hour and a half. It's a very long time for someone that is claustrophobic. And generally with these brain MRIs, you have to be in a closed MRI, not an open. And I remember coming out of the MRI and a nurse came over and she was, you know, putting all the leads on me. They were checking my vitals. And then I looked over and a nurse had a cart that she had wheeled over next to my bed in like the holding area before I have surgery, and my mom and dad were able to be there. And she had a razor on the table. I knew that I was going to have my head shaved. I knew that. What I didn't realize is that they were going to shave my hair while I was awake. I was devastated. Like right now, I can feel it like it was 10 minutes ago. I'll never forget that feeling. I'll never forget how devastated I was. And she shaved my hair and I cried. I cried during the whole thing. Now, I am an emotional person, and I am sure that you all have probably figured that out from my vlogs. I am a very emotional person. But anyway, she shaved my head. I cried. My mom held my hand, you know, and consoled me, and my dad just stood back, and I don't think he even knew what to say or what to do. And then I remember being taken into the operating room, and what they do during this procedure is they need to monitor the nerves. So what they're doing is they're going ahead and placing all of these monitors all over your head, your face, to monitor all of your cranial and facial nerves. So they have these little round foam pads with leads on them. This person monitoring your nerves is a whole different doctor than the neurosurgeon. It's a whole different team that's monitoring all these nerves in your head and your face and your throat and your everywhere up here. So I remember them taking these little round pads, and they had to be glued onto my face, onto my scalp, especially my scalp because of the hair. I didn't have all of my hair shaved. I'm gonna insert a picture of how much hair was shaved, and I'll go ahead and insert that picture right here. but they were literally gluing these little pads all over, and the glue smelled funny, and it just, I don't know. I was scared, I was frightened, I was in the operating room, I was awake, sedated a little bit, but I was awake. Believe me, I was awake, people. So they went ahead and did all of that, and then my doctor came in and he spoke with me for a couple of minutes and they put me to sleep. I woke up from my brain surgery with the most crushing headache I have ever had in my life. Ever in my life. And I remember balling up into a little ball, and I was just literally holding my head like this in a ball, just curled up, holding my head, crying. Just, please make the pain stop. Please take it away. Please make it stop. It hurts. And my mom was there, and she was holding my hand, and she was soothing me and talking to me, and she's such a calming presence that, thank God she was there. Thank God. Kudos, Mom. I love you so much. This is a shout out to you, Mom. I love you. My dad was there. He's kind of a stand back and watch kind of guy, you know. But I do remember my dad, before I went into surgery, he said to the surgeon, "You're going to take good care of her, right?" And the surgeon said, "Yeah, I'll take good care of her." And that makes me really emotional because my father just passed away in December. And I miss him to this day. Okay, so so I woke up from the surgery. Like I said, I was just crying in a ball, holding my head. It was wrapped all in gauze. I will insert a picture right here. And I just kept saying, "Take the pain away, make it go away, make it go away." And I couldn't take it. Like, I just couldn't stand the pain. And I couldn't move, I couldn't rock, I couldn't do anything. Once I got my arms up there and I curled in a ball, that was it. That's all I did. So they did give me pain medicine. I was on a drip, but I was able to push the button whenever I needed it. Obviously it is controlled, so you can't just keep getting it over and over and over whenever you want it, but I was able to control when and if I needed the pain medicine. That in itself made me nauseated, so then they had to give me something for nausea, and that was tough. I don't react really well to medications, any medications, so that was tough. But I got through that night, and the entire night there are literal patients in the neurological ICU unit, side by side by side by side by side, and all that's separating us is a curtain, just a curtain. So there's no walls, you're not in your own separate room, you're next to all these patients and there's a curtain. And I could hear them all crying and moaning and screaming, and you know, and I know they could hear me crying and moaning and screaming, but I kept saying the noise, I couldn't take the noise. So they did give me some earplugs. I believe that gave me a little bit of relief. But the following day, I felt better. I was able to sit up. I was able to take my hands off of my head and uncurl from my fetal position. And I could sit up and sit on the edge of the bed. Now, I was having a reaction to the anesthesia. I have a reaction to anesthesia each and every single time that I have anesthesia. Sometimes the reaction is absolutely horrific, meaning I throw up daily, all day long, for anywhere from 24 hours to 30 days before it's all out of my system. It's bad. But they did give me something for nausea, so that helped a little bit. But I was still nauseated, I was still vomiting, I was still having a reaction to the anesthesia. I can say that when I woke up, I did not have any electrical zapping whatsoever. For the first time in many, many months, I was able to swallow with no electrical zapping, no pain. I was able to take sips of liquids And when I would swallow those liquids, I had no zapping, no pain, no nothing. It was amazing. I was still having all this pain from the incision, and I am gonna insert some pictures so that you can see my incision and see how big and long it was and everything. So I was having pain from the incision, obviously. I was having headaches from having brain surgery. The doctor said that when he went in to do the MVD, he took a small piece of Teflon and he put it in between the 9th cranial nerve and the main vertebral artery. So right here is the Teflon, this is the main vertebral artery, and this is the 9th cranial nerve. So he went ahead and put the Teflon in between so that they didn't hit anymore. And because if they were hitting, that's when it was firing that nerve and making electrical pain and zapping go on. So he did that. That's an MVD. I did leave the hospital, I believe it was on my 3rd day. Now I had a 300-mile car trip back home. And bless my mother, she was with me through every single moment. She literally stayed in my hospital room from the moment I came out of surgery until the moment I went home, and she slept in a chair. She did not leave my room. She did not leave my side. She was with me every single moment. I could never repay her. I don't even know what to say about that other than, Mom, you're amazing. And I love you. But she knows that. So I did go home after a couple of days. I do remember that during the trip home, about 300 miles, that I slept. I just literally slept. I did not probably wake up, but maybe a couple times, just slept. By the time I got home, I was hurting. I was in a lot of pain. And all I wanted to do was just climb into my own bed, and I wanted to sleep. I didn't want anybody bothering me. I just wanted to sleep. So that's exactly what I did. I climbed into my bed, I slept, and I slept for days. As you can imagine, I was on pain medicines. I was on a steroid to reduce inflammation. And I remember because of the steroid, I had to take something for reflux because the steroid can affect your gut. So I was also taking something for reflux. I think it was amantadine or something like that. Famotidine. I was taking famotidine, which is for reflux. So fortunately I did not have that issue because I was taking the famotidine along with the steroid. But I got home and I did not have zapping, and I did not have any GPN issues. Let me know down in the comments if you guys want to see my second brain surgery story, or if you want to see my story about having Gamma Knife, which is radiation to the brain. I want you all to know that I'm so grateful that you've subscribed to my channel, that you support me, that you send me messages daily and check up on me, and I really, really appreciate that. I can't tell you how much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for supporting me. If you guys like my video, please hit the thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel and hit that bell notification. But I really appreciate you watching my videos and your support. I really, truly do. And I hope everyone has a wonderful afternoon. And until next time.